Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to sign on and listen to this Zoom call. My name is Sarah Redican, and I am quite close with quite a few people on this team, or probably with somebody that invited you here. And the person that invited you today invited you because they care about you, or if they don't know you well, they know enough about you that they want you to hear some really, really powerful information. I'm a teacher. I live in Kailua, Oahu, and I teach kindergarten in this crazy distance learning time. But, you know, part of my why and my experience with this company and these products is leading me to being able to retire after almost 15 years of teaching. 3 years or almost 4 years after finding these products, I already make more money than I do as a teacher. So doing this now out of the love of it, and because I just love this profession. But I can't wait to go through and share these really special people that are going to share some really powerful information with you today. So I just want to give everybody kind of a little idea of why we're here and what this is before we kind of go into testimonies. We choose to share this information in many ways. You're going to hear a little bit about some really incredible products and science, and you're going to hear a little bit about some business experiences and some business testimonies. And both of them are equally as powerful in their own ways. And everyone really has their own experience with this company and these products that has really changed their lives. So I just wanted to kind of share a little bit about myself first. Like I said, I'm a teacher. I have my master's degree in teaching. And these products were introduced to me by a dear friend. And my husband is 10 years older than me, and he actually started taking the products before I even did. And he had a horrible experience with shoulder pain and issues. And basically, after a couple of months of taking these products, the pain, the popping, the painful experience he was having had all but disappeared. And that was what led me to wanting to share this with more people. Doing the research to find out about these products have peer-reviewed studies. This is a breakthrough in preventative and therapeutic medicine that has real, legitimate science behind it. It's not just a bunch of people sharing stories, which is actually probably the most meaningful part. It's real science and real information. And, you know, the reason you're on this call and not finding this at the grocery stores and at the health food stores is because there is a much deeper understanding of information to really get this idea that we're going to share with you about activation versus supplementation. The idea that we can flip a switch in our bodies, turn our genes and our cells on to produce what they need to produce to fight off cellular inflammation, which basically leads to aging and deterioration of every part of our body. So we have other calls where we share way more deeply about the science and the intricacies. We have calls where we talk about the business way more in depth. But what this call is, this heart-to-heart, is an opportunity for people that have experienced something with these products or this business to share from the heart and to share how it's changed their lives and why. So without any further ado, I'm going to kind of guide us through this call today. We have a few really amazing people sharing, and so I'm going to go ahead and introduce them. And I hope that you'll just listen and then go do your own research. And, you know, we don't claim to treat or mitigate disease. We can't make those claims, but you'll hear the stories you hear. And when you do your research, you'll understand how deep this can change your health. So the first person that is going to share today, the first woman, is somebody who actually is in the same line of business that I am. And she has been incredibly inspiring for me in the short time that I've known her, that she has truly taken charge of her life and has, in just a few months, not only rank advanced in the company, but given herself the stature and the poise and the confidence to retire from her job. I am so proud of you, Cindy, and I have so much love for you, and you just have such an amazing story. Can you share with us a little bit about, you know, why LifeVantage, not why LifeVantage, but what these have done for you?
Right. Thank you, Sarah. That's beautiful. So, hi everyone. My name is Cindy Mahuka. I've been in education for 32 years. And I originally started taking these products because I just wanted to feel better. You know, I'm getting up there in age. You can see my wisdom streaks right here. So I just was low on energy and had some other issues. So I started taking the products, and I started noticing that my energy was getting better, but still nothing, you know, earth shattering. And then I got on, I was only taking one of the products, and then I ended up taking the Tri-Synergizer, which is like all three, and it ramps everything up. So once I started taking those, wow, then that's when I really started noticing some differences. So like after about 2-3 months in of taking all three, I noticed that my allergies and my eczema that I've had on my face and just have been chronic. I've been dealing with it since I was like in 2nd grade, always allergies. And so they're significantly better. And I used to have to take allergy shots, and I would have to take allergy pills every day, and I don't have to do that anymore. So it's fabulous. And then another reason why I wanted to take it was because my knee was swollen and really hurting. And I thought, well, maybe this will help it, but it didn't do much at first. But of course, you know, these are like problems that would go on for a long time. So after about 3 months, I realized that my knee was not swollen anymore and I could walk on it. Well, you know, here's the thing. I found out I do have a torn meniscus. It's like torn 2/3 of the way through. So, I mean, I'm going to have surgery. There's nothing I can do about that. So I just have to deal with it. But the amazing thing is it's not swollen, and yet it's torn 2/3 of the way through. So I'm like, yes. And then the most amazing one for me is I've been on antidepressants for 27 years. I did get off of them for a couple years, but I couldn't stay off of them. And so I ended up going back on them. And so during all this COVID time, I realized, wow, I'm not depressed. And the thing is, the recipe for depression for me, as I say, going down in the deep end of the funk pool, is when I am home alone, don't have any friends to talk to, not going anywhere, because I'm an extrovert. I need people. And I realized after 2 or 3 months of lockdown that I was not depressed. And I just woke up one day and realized that it was like, that was the most amazing gift for me. So, sorry. So I was able to get off all my antidepressants, and I feel better than I've ever felt in a long, long time. So that's my story. I started the biz and I love it. So thank you for letting me share.
Yay, Cindy. That's so wonderful. And it's so interesting because you hear her like rattle off multiple things, right? It's not one thing that she's taking something for to target that one thing. It's like these natural, I forgot to mention, the completely natural activators, 5 herbs, turmeric, milk thistle, ashwagandha, bacopa, and green tea. Just these herbs together are activating our cells, are building antioxidants and producing antioxidants at millions per second. And, you know, Cindy, I heard you talking about like that your leg wasn't swollen. And, you know, this idea of inflammation on a cellular level is really what this targets. The whole idea is to activate our bodies to reduce that cellular inflammation, which is what leads to basically every ailment and illness that we have. So thank you so much for sharing. That's really what it's all about, is sharing from the heart. And that's really what makes it so meaningful. Oh, from the heart. So our next share is a woman who has become super near and dear to my heart, and has probably one of the most powerful testimonies I've heard in the 4 years I've been in this business. And I think that this whole business, the products, which is why we're all here, are changing people's lives. And to know that just sharing a little bit of information can change somebody's life so dramatically is just something that it's priceless. So I am so excited that this friend of mine decided to accept my invitation to speak on our call. And I just hope that she can share with us kind of why she even took a look at these products and then how these products have affected her family. So my sweet Denby Dawson, can you please unmute and share with us your story?
I'm already in tears there. Hey guys, hello my kako. My name is Denby. I come to you from Lihue, Kauai. So how I got to this product. Funny thing, 7 years ago, one of my super close friends, Jessica Murray, Jam's pal, her sister, those two girls, they were like, you gotta get on this product, da, 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 this is the place to be. I was like, yeah, no. 7 years later, my brother, who doesn't believe anything or anyone or any study, stubborn, he went ahead and tried the product for 4 months. And even after 4 months, the first month, the second month, he didn't tell us anything. And slowly, he was the one who told me, I think you guys need to try this. You and mom need to give this a try. So I did, because his blood test came back. Now, the thing about our family is everybody, it's pretty regular. We have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and then we hit diabetes, cancer, and we're a done deal. So pretty consistently throughout, my papa, my grandma, my uncle, my dad, and then now my mom and all my siblings, everybody is borderline diabetic or is diabetic. So with that, we're like, okay, what do we have to lose? My mom's 71 tomorrow. So I said, all right, fine, we'll jump on. Well, I jumped on. Something you should know is I'm a mom of 3. I have a 18-year-old, a 13-year-old, and a 3-year-old. My 3-year-old did not make it at birth. She was stillborn and then resuscitated almost an hour. Her brain damage is pretty bad, and after birth, I was told the best that I could expect was a quadriplegic. She won't be able to talk, walk, or she solely survives off of a G-tube. A machine feeds her. So the guilt and the depression, like Cindy was expressing, sorry, I'm trying not to shake. The guilt and the depression that Cindy was expressing, I could totally relate. And it was really hard. She was my first and only girl. I was really excited for her. You know, all local girls, we have like bracelets all planned out and earrings, ears pierced by 1 year old. And so when that happened, it was a bit hard to swallow. For the first year, I was heavily depressed and lots of guilt. And we lived in the hospital. We came and went a lot, but no hope. We were told pretty consistently, we're just basically maintaining her life, nothing adding to it. We're not able to cure it in any way. And so it's really hard to raise kids with no hope. And I've always been raised around the Lord, but again, how, why, what did I do wrong? How could I have done it better? Anyway, so moving forward, she's now 3 within the last 2 months. After my brother brought this to my mom and I, we're like, all right, well, I'm starting to feel better. I actually have a very hard time talking in front of crowds. So this has helped me tremendously. And for my friends who are on the call from my class, they know. But my daughter now takes Nerve 2. We give it to her about, we cut it in thirds. And we inject it into her stomach. In the last month and a half, she's been on it every single day. The transformation is tremendous. My daughter always looked up to the left, both her eyes. Her feed has to run really slowly. If anyone's a nurse, like really, really slow, it literally just drops. and even then she wasn't able to digest it. Her vision's heavily impaired. Her ability to swallow, everything we take for granted, basically, it's just really hard. Like swallow, see, digest, poop, sleep. Her hands are like all curled up, you know, she has no head control. So that was the first 3 years. Now we're at 3.5 years almost. And in the last month and a half, my daughter is pooping daily, twice a day since being on. She's able to take naps in the day. Her body is loose. She actually goes through Botox. She gets injected around her body with Botox and fennel to help her release her muscles. But since nerve 2, she's loose. She can just breathe. She's able to digest, and digestion is huge because you can't grow without eating. She only eats 3 little 8 ounces a day. But now that she's able to digest, she's able to grow. She was born with 9 pounds, 3 ounces, and she's 3 years old now and 27 pounds, but growing. So brain food, you know, she's able to mature into a little girl. She started school. Her vision, it was such a great day. Like, I looked at her 2 eyes straight one day. I was showering her. I mean, just absolutely every part of her world has enhanced. You know, so I still give her seizure meds, her Western medicine for safety, but I do believe that it's going to be an amazing transformation. I look forward to another heart-to-heart in a year or so to see where she's at. But if there's anything that I would want to leave with anybody, this product gives hope. It gave me a lot of hope. My 3 kids, I'm not sure if they're on right now, but my 2 sons are young and they've been helping to take care of her. And it's really hard to carry her around, you know. But even them, they have a way better attitude. They're not mad at her anymore. And there's just so much to be thankful for with these products. So I appreciate all of you, appreciate my uppers, and thanks for letting me share.
I love you. Thank you so much for being vulnerable and sharing your heart and your family. I know it's not easy. And I think it's been really wonderful to watch you and your family go through this incredible transition over the last couple of months and get to know you so much better. So thank you so much for sharing from the heart. And I think that's what it's all about, you know, is hope. Like, we go through this process, whether you're 3, whether you're 13, whether you're 35, or whether you're 85, your body is going through traumatic processes all the time. And it happens to different people at different ages. And that's why these products are so powerful, because it truly works on a cellular level to access what it needs to access. So thank you so much, Denby, for sharing. So the next person that I am going to introduce is a dear friend of mine, and a dear friend of actually my husband's, and was a very big reason why I said yes, and why my husband has been so supportive through this process, was really hearing the story of our next guest. So I'm so excited that he's on to share with us. And he is actually the husband of one of the leaders on our team, on our business team, Daize Goodwin. So I think I saw Aamion, her husband, on here. Aamion, can you go ahead and unmute if you're there, and can you just share your testimony, or one of your testimonies, because I'm sure you have a few after 8 years of being on these products. So.
Hi.
Gotcha.
Yeah, well, hi everyone. I'm Aamion. I'm Daize's husband, and I'm pulled over on the side of the road right now. I'm towing a boat. We've just got our boat, so it's all fixed up and ready to get in the water. But yeah, it's been a while. Daize's, I think, been with LifeVantage now for 7 years, and I was very skeptical in the beginning, of course, like I'm sure a lot of you guys were, and a lot of people are in the beginning. But my dad kind of got us into it, and he's ultimate health guy. I always look to him for any kind of health, um, you know, I guess health ideas, and it's been his life. People put, I guess, we all have our focuses in life on what we're doing, our dreams and aspirations, and where we find that connection. And my dad finds that with health. He really has dove into that his whole life, and he's eliminated everything in his diet and barely eats. He eats certain specific foods, and he takes life. He got us into it. I pretty much started taking it because he said it changed his life, and he had high blood pressure. Even though he was super healthy, somehow he had really high blood pressure, and Protandim lowered his blood pressure drastically, which was obviously awesome. I mean that's a big thing in America these days, is the high blood pressure. Just that alone is a big deal. For me personally, about 6 years ago or something, 7 years ago, I inhaled a fish bone into the back of my throat. I was eating a coulis, and my friend didn't fry it all the way, so it was kind of rubbery, the bones. Usually you can crush them up and digest them, but I laughed when I was eating a coulis, and the rib bone shot up into the back flap of my throat. So where you inhale loogies and spit them out, the fish bone lodged itself up in there, and I just instantly was gagging, was throwing up for just nonstop. I couldn't stop myself throwing up, and that went on for a long time, a year or something. And I just go into full gag mode, just gagging, throwing up. The bone specific, and definitely the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I've had so many injuries, broken bones, and so many things that's happened to me, but this is by far, that was the worst. And nothing helped. I went to a doctor. They said they're gonna have to cut my nose off and fold it off and then go in surgery, and it was just that was way too intense. I just got over a surgery after being out for a year. So my dad said, "Hey, you got to try this. It's changed my life." So, and actually, my wife had backed it so much, and she wasn't really fired up on the business. It was more just kind of, the products sound great, so we're going to take it and put it in and implement it into our lives. So anyways, and this is probably a year or so after the fishbone. It wasn't day in, day out. If I drank any kind of beer, life would be hell. So anyways, I started taking the product, and for whatever reason, it stopped all this congestion that I had, and I believe there was a lot of swelling and just stuff that was stuck up in there, and the product Protandim helped it to move through my body. I went to this crazy Chinese herbalist guy in Oahu. He's dead now. His name was Mr. Lam, but he was an amazing guy. He's like 90. And he said, "Hey, it'll take 10 years to dissolve, maybe." And within a few years of being on Protandim, I don't feel it anymore. It doesn't affect me. I love free diving. That was one of my passions, along with surfing. I couldn't free dive. I couldn't even dive anymore because there was something in there that was like it was holding air or something, to where if I went down below the ocean, even 5 feet, it would start to feel like I had a crazy migraine and my head was going to explode. So I've been diving lately with my son all the time, falling back into the whole free diving thing. And yeah, it's a real deal. The product's real. I was skeptical at first with the business too. And when you see, life-changing things happen within your family and within your friend circle, and people call you, and I see my wife, just people are crying to her all the time and giving their testimonies, and this is the real deal. It's not a bunch of people just trying to sell you some crap on the street. This is the real deal, and And I think it's just on the verge of exploding. So it's a really good time to get involved and be involved. And people are going to try to detour you from what you want to do because they don't believe in what you're doing, and that's okay. That's just everything we do in life. That's just no matter what we're doing, there's going to be people not believing in what we're doing. So my wife was strong enough to kind of see through that and take the bull by the horns and run with this, and as well as all of you guys. So hope that helped a little bit. I'm trying to see if I didn't really write a checklist. I'm just going off the top of my head, but my wife wanted me to share a little bit about that, and hope that inspired some.
It was perfect. It was perfect. That's all we want is your heart, and I think we're all glad that your wife decided to do this and that it worked for her, because that's the reason so many of us are here, and that's the reason so many of our lives are changed. And I think it's really amazing to hear it. Like, a lot of us have heard a little bit of your story before, but to hear it from you is just incredibly powerful. So we actually have your amazing wife on here to kind of bring it home for all of us. And so Daize, I'm so glad that you're here and you can share with us just a little bit and kind of bring it all back together and kind of remind everybody why we're here. So.
Oh, thanks, Sarah. And thanks, babe. That was, I don't know, I don't get nervous, but I was so nervous. I was like, come on, babe, bring it home. I was like, oh, so good job, Muffin. That's what we call each other. I'm kind of like, whoa, that was good. And wow, the story, Denby. Thank you for sharing, all of you. This is an emotional thing because we are talking about health. We're also talking about financial well-being, but this call is really directed to health. And while we can't say we can cure, mitigate or treat your disease, these are people's personal testimonies. And what you heard here today is their story. But what's crazy is all the stories that come back because our products are dealing with cellular health, preventing what's coming at us, whether we like it or not. So I'm going to just talk a little bit about the business, because I can go about how, my anxiety attacks stopped, or how I went from being an insomniac to sleeping well, and, how natural medicine is the future. And I could go on and on about that. But I want to talk just a little bit about why this company and these products on a business side. As you know, people all over the world right now are freaking out. The future is uncertain. My husband didn't get to go into the fact that we own 2 small businesses in Honolulu. Both are barely staying afloat, but we're paying our strong employees and just keeping the doors open for our community. But who knows? We're not making our money that we used to. So what's possible here is that you can build something that will be another well. That's all we're doing here, is we're building another well while this one goes dry. And these products, like you heard, are changing people's lives. People are shouting this from the rooftops. Look at Denby's situation and how that changed her life. She's telling everyone she knows. So what happens with this is you have a chance to be a part of this as a way to get compensated for telling people how your health has changed. What I've learned in the last, it's almost been 8 years, babe, not 7. Isn't that crazy? Our life is flying by. But I knew that if we didn't change something almost 8 years ago, we were never going to get ahead. We were going to be drowning in survival mode of trading time for dollars, never feeling like we are getting paid what we are worth, never getting ahead, always too much month at the end of the money. I know some of you can relate. But what happens here, and what I've seen, is that people will not do a cleanse. People will not read the back of the box for the ingredients to make sure they're organic and there's not all these different dyes and natural flavors and all this stuff that really isn't true, but that's really hurting our health. People won't drink more water or even stick with their workout regimen. But what I've learned is that people will take a pill, and 3 if they're going to make you feel incredible. And that's what I've seen here, is that I wasn't a salesperson. I'd never done this before, but because I woke up every day feeling fan-effing-tastic, I was able to tell people about it and they wanted some. Not everyone, and we're not here to push you into buying our products. We're here to show you that there is a better way where you can actually activate your cells to flip the switch on instead of supplementing what we're deficient in, which is what we do with vitamins and taking antioxidants and working out and thinking that we're healthy, but going into the root cause. So, you know, we like to keep these right about 30 minutes. So I'm not going to say much more, but get with the person that invited you. This business is unbelievable. Did you hear what my husband said? I was trying to kind of keep that a secret because we also just got a new truck and now we're pulling a boat. And it's like, the truth is, it's just not about making a bunch of money and flashing. It's about the freedom of choice. And right now, people want their health as strong as possible. If you have the only products here that are patented, that you cannot buy anywhere else, that have no competition, that do what Washington State University says may be the biggest breakthrough in the history of health and medicine, you want to get in the front of it. You want to get, you know, in a place where you can be compensated for sharing the information. So get with the person that invited you, ask questions. I had a million. I was the most skeptical of the skeptics in the beginning. But this is something that your little bit of work can pay you over and over and over again. So thanks for coming. Thanks for sharing, friends. And you guys have a great rest of the week, okay? Take care. Much love. Aloha.